Hi, my name's Roger Osborne. Welcome to this new video on the mighty Australian salmon. You know, over the years, the Australian salmon has got somewhat of a reputation as a poor quality eating fish. But today I want to dispel that as a myth. They actually are really good to eat. They are amazing fighters, great fun to catch, and they exist in abundance, all the way from almost northern Western Australia, right down through the Great Australian Bight, Victoria, and all the way up to southern Queensland. You can catch Australian salmon. And today I'm going to show you 3 lethal tactics that will help you to catch as many salmon as you want. Lethal tactic number 1 for Australian salmon is the humble beachworm. Salmon absolutely love beachworms. They're like lollies to salmon. I've caught so many salmon when I'm fishing for whiting and bream using worms. It's ridiculous. Sometimes it's just like 7, 8, 9, 10 salmon, just one after the other. So I've baited up my hook here with some beachworm. I've actually got a double hook rig. I've got 2 beachworm baits. So I'm going to toss this out. If you'd like to know more detail about how to rig worms, check out my baits video. The link is in the description. And remember to like and subscribe to this video if you're enjoying this content, because it'll really help my channel. So let's go. Lethal tactic number 2 for Australian salmon is the pilchard. Salmon absolutely love pilchards. I'm not sure whether they love pilchards or worms more, but they really love pilchards. And the simplest way to rig a whole pilchard is on a set of ganged hooks. And once again, remember to check out my baits video, because it'll help you with how to put a pilchard on. Once you've done it lots of times, you don't even think about it. It's so easy. I've rigged this up on one of my larger beach setups. This is actually one of my dewy rods, and it's spooled with 15 kilo line, but salmon are not sensitive to heavier line. You don't have to be too concerned about having light line with salmon. It doesn't seem to bother them. I'm going to pelt this pilchard out the back using my big rod with a large star sinker, and I'm expecting to catch something good. Lethal tactic number 3 for Australian salmon is squidly diddly. Salmon absolutely love squid. I often catch salmon on squid. So I'm threading it. I've just got a 4-0 hook here, and I'm threading the salmon I've cut it into like a strip. And I'm threading it onto this 4-0 hook. But beware. When you use a squid bait like this off the beach, trying to catch a salmon, you just might get yourself a mulloway as a bycatch. That wouldn't be bad, would it? So here we go. I just got a nice squid bait, which salmon absolutely love.
You're on a salmon roll.
In my book, the top 3 baits for salmon off the beach are beachworms, pilchards, and fresh squid. If you'd like to know the exact rigs that I've used in making this video on Australian salmon, check out my video, Killer Rigs for Beach Fishing. Now here are some salmon facts. How big do salmon grow? Salmon actually grow to a length of approximately 90 centimetres and a weight of 10 kilos. The average weight salmon is roughly 1 to 2 kilos, which is a great eating size fish. The largest salmon I've ever caught are in the 5 to 6 kilo range, which are really solid fish. Another awesome feature about the Australian salmon is the yield that you get from a salmon. And what I mean by yield is the actual ratio of flesh to the anatomy of the fish. And certainly with a salmon, it's excellent. You get fantastic fillets off a salmon, beautiful thick fillets of fish. They're awesome. Some fish that you catch, you actually don't get a lot of meat, but certainly with salmon, you get heaps of meat off a salmon. I've invited some good friends around for lunch, and I'm actually cooking the salmon that we cooked on this video just yesterday down at the beach. And because Australian salmon is supposedly not very good to eat, we're going to test it and just see what everybody thinks and do a taste test. I made a beer batter, which I've got in here, and I'm just going to put these bits of salmon in the beer batter.
All right, guinea pigs, what do you think?
Definitely a thumbs up.
Very good.
When it comes to eating qualities, unfortunately the salmon's copped a fairly bad rap for a long time, but actually that's not true. They're very good to eat. I happily eat salmon anytime, and you can see in this video how much my friends enjoy it.
So what was your rating? What was your rating?
A solid 8. Solid 8. I'd give it a solid 9.
I reckon a 9.
8. Good 8.
Yeah.
What time of day is the best time of day for fishing for salmon? Well, like many other species, early morning and late afternoon are the prime times. However, you can catch salmon all day, and I've certainly caught salmon in the middle of the day when I go beach worming. I chuck a line out. So really, you're not limited to morning and afternoon. You can actually fish during the day and have good results. What is the best time of year for salmon? All I can say in my experience is that I fish all year long off the beach and pretty much catch salmon all year. I've done a bit of research on it, and they say that you can catch salmon from May through to August, which really only rules out the months of June and July. However, I've caught heaps of salmon in June and July, so I reckon you can catch them all year round. Stop it. I'd like to give you a hot tip for catching salmon off the beach. When you go down to the beach, don't just chuck into any bit of deep water. Look for some white water where the waves are breaking next to the deep water, and toss your bait into the white water, because that's where the salmon will be feeding. So when you have a look at the beach, see if there's any sandbars on the edge of deep water, and focus in the edge of that white water. Recently, I took someone fishing. I was a fishing guide, and I took them beach fishing, and we were fishing for salmon, and we walked down to the beach, and there was a guy already fishing there, but I thought, I didn't quite like the look of the water, but about 200 yards down the beach, there was a sandbar only about 30 meters off the beach, where the waves were crashing on this sandbar, and it was surrounded by deep water. So I said to the guy I was with, that's where we're going to fish. And we went down there, and I said to him, we're going to cast our baits right into that white water. We were catching salmon after salmon. First cast, we had salmon. In fact, I think we had 3 double hookups on salmon. And then the guy I was with made the comment, he said, I've been watching that guy up the beach. He said, I don't think he's caught anything. And the guy up the beach had just lobbed his bait in anywhere. And where we'd chosen that bit of white water in amongst the deep water, I think we kept 9 salmon, which really is an abundance. And it was an epic time of fishing. So I highly recommend that as a tip for catching salmon. My final tip is that one of the bonuses of catching salmon is that they actually make really good bait. So when I go fishing, I'll keep a couple of salmon to eat, and then I'll also keep a couple for bait. And what I do is I fillet them, sprinkle them with some salt, and then freeze them. And I use them to catch brim and snapper. But I've even actually caught salmon on salmon. I've put salmon on, go down the beach, chuck out a piece of salmon, and what do I catch? A salmon. Anyway, there you go. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please remember to like and subscribe. And if you've enjoyed this content, leave a comment. Also, I'm really interested to know if there's anything else that you'd like to learn. Put it in the comments, because I really do listen to what you have to say when it comes to making future videos. I look forward to seeing you soon.